It's down the road we go. It is Friday, the 8th day of June, 2018. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is on the air for this Friday. A long week. It's been a long, long week for all of us here at the NCW Life channel, but we're looking forward to tonight. Tonight's a big night. The Eastmont High School 60th commencement exercises gets underway at 6 o'clock tonight at the Town Toyota Center. That'll be followed at 8 o'clock by the commencement exercises, the 114th commencement exercises for the class of 2018 for Wenatchee High School. That will take place at Lee-Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Both of those commencement exercises will be carried live and commercial-free right here on the NCW Live channel. If you don't have access to a television and you still want to watch it, you can watch it on our stream. Go to ncwlife.com and go to the Watch Live Now icon, and you can watch it on our website, or you can watch it on our Facebook page. All the different elements we can possibly get it over the air to you is available to you tonight for a big night for the class of 2018. You notice there's no chair to my immediate left. Steve Hare's taken the day off. Good for Steve. He'll be back on Monday. Grant Olson will be handling the news here in just a couple minutes. I'll be handling sports. Mariners pulled out a victory. Apple Sox pulled out a victory. Good day for the local baseball teams. We'll talk about that. Also, we have, of course, the usual. We have Today in History. We have birthdays. We have the obscure holiday. We have Everyone is Entitled to Mike Magnotti's Opinion. A very important weather forecast. How are we going to do tonight? If you're going to go to the Wenatchee High School graduation, it's outside. It's always a roll of the dice. I'll let you know about that. And also, our guest in the second half of the show is Robert McSeveny. Robert McSeveny, of course, was recently appointed to fill the most recent vacancy on the Chelan County Superior Court, and now he is seeking to earn the seat in his own right with the upcoming election. Robert McSeveny will be our guest in the second half of the program. He was interviewed on Wednesday by News Director Steve Harris, so you'll get to know Mr. McSeveny a little bit better in the second half of the program. And at 2 minutes after the hour, let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. Always batting leadoff. I love that baseball analogy. Is the cross camera. It's what we call it because it's pretty close to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. Kind of hazy out there today. It's going to be fairly mild, about 79 or 80 forecast high, but as the day increases, the clouds will increase, and yep, we are going to get some rain tonight. The question is, when does the rain come down? We'll have an hour-by-hour forecast coming your way here in just about 3 or 4 minutes. So good morning, Wenatchee Valley on this Friday. Let's go to camera number 2. Kat, our producer, decides where we're going to go, and I'm going to say that is the Upper Butte, looking back down. No, that's not. No, let me think here. Let me look. I'm going to look in. I'm studying. I'm seeing, and I see US 97A. I see. I want to say that's Aniat. What am I looking at, Kat? Oh, yes, the Columbia Breaks is right in the center. So that camera would be. What camera is that? Oh, that's the Waterville camera. Okay. The Waterville camera, that's a good 4,000 feet in elevation there. Normally we point that towards Waterville, but we have it pointed down towards the beautiful Columbia River. That's a good looking view there. We need to use that one more often. You can even see Earthquake Point there to the right as US 97A sneaks its way up toward Chelan. Good morning to the folks out there. Camera number 3, Kat says we visit. Boy, I'm drawing blanks today. That's Union Valley. Okay, that's again a kind of a different view that we usually normally Union Valley. We have it pointed down towards the Chelan area. Not today. We have it pointed up lake. You can see Wapato Point sticking out there. You can see a little bit of Manson and go further up the lake. Not going to be the most nicest weekend for boating on Lake Chelan. I'll tell you that much right now. We're going to cool way down. It's going to be about 20 degrees cooler over the weekend than it was in the middle of the week. And finally, camera number 4, see if I can get one right anyway. Well, that's Apple Andes. There. I got one right. I'll be gosh darned. You can see the Wenatchee River, you can see the highway, you can see the beautiful hamlet of Cashmere. You can see the community park there in beautiful downtown Cashmere. Thanks for joining us, Cashmere, on this Friday morning here on the NCW Life channel. All right, the weekend is almost here. There's a lot of things going on, not just graduation, but all kinds of things going on all over North Central Washington this weekend. What does Mother Nature have in store for us? Well, it's going to be kind of warm today. 79 is a little bit warmer than normal, but a big change arrives tonight. And right on into Saturday and really right on into Sunday, there's a deep upper level low over the Gulf of Alaska. It has already begun to move into the Pacific Northwest today. In fact, the Seattle area will get rain most of the day today. It is a cold front, in addition to the water that's coming with us. That's why we're going to have rain, and that's why we're going to cool down. Let's give you an hour-by-hour forecast for tonight for outdoor graduation. The top graph is your temperature. So graduation for Wenatchee High School begins at 8 o'clock sharp. It'll be in the upper 60s. By the time it is over, it'll be in the lower 60s, as you can see there. That middle graph is your wind, and as you can see, as this weather begins to, as this system comes in, it's going to kick up the breeze a little bit. We can see gusts in the 20-mile-an-hour range beginning at 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, so the wind will be picking up in intensity. At the bottom of your screen is the possibility of rain. The higher that bar goes, the better chance of rain. So as you can see, we have a slight chance of rain during the actual ceremonies tonight, but the heavy rain, and we are going to get heavy rain, will not come down until the overnight hours. That gray shaded area is the evening hours, as you can probably tell. So it is going to rain tonight. It won't come down heavy until after the ceremonies are all well and done, but there is a chance that we could get some light sprinkles during at least the wee part of the ceremony. So it is going to rain tonight, up to 1/4 of an inch possible, also some wind associated with it. And then as you can see on Saturday, partly sunny, windy, and a high of 67. We're not expecting any rain really on Saturday. It'll be dry. Sunday, another slight chance of rain as that system begins to exit the area, but look how cool it's only going to be. 66 degrees. That's chilly and also a little breezy. And then we turn right around and a very pleasant week begins to shape up starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. With the exception of today and Tuesday, really, most of these temperatures that you see are going to be below normal. So to recap real quickly, could get some light rain, dealing with a little bit of light wind tonight for the Wenatchee High School commencement exercises outdoors. That's the chance that you take. Hopefully it'll stay dry until about 10 o'clock. The Wenatchee High School commencement exercises last a couple of hours. Hopefully by 10 o'clock the rain won't happen, but we are going to get rain overnight tonight. That we can pretty much guarantee it. 7 minutes after the hour, as you already know, Steve Hare has today off, so Grant Olson does double duties. The news with Grant Olson is 1 minute away. We'll be right back. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Join the NCW Live channel for live coverage of Eastmont and Wenatchee High School commencement ceremonies Friday, June 8th.
Coverage brought to you by Hometown Hearing across the mall on Valley Mall Parkway. Columbia Valley Community Health with 9 locations in the greater Wenatchee and Chelan area, and by Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore, with a name means a great deal.
Live Friday, June 8th, Eastmont High's graduation at 6, followed by Wenatchee High's graduation at 8, exclusively on the NCW Live channel.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good Friday morning. I'm Grant Olson in for Steve Hare with a look at this morning's news headlines. Douglas County fire crews were called out in the noon hour Thursday to a grass fire burning at Baker Flats adjacent to State Route 2 in the industrial park. Our Sky-Fi cameras were able to pick up the smoke and flames burning in the vicinity of 4825 Northwest Cascade Avenue. The flames were being fanned by gusty winds to the north as the Sky-Fi camera shows people trying to beat the fire down with tree branches. Fire crews arrived approximately 15 minutes after the fire was toned out and made quick work out of putting the blaze out. There's no word on how the fire started, and it appears there was no damage to any structures. The fire consumed grass in about an acre swath along State Route 2. Emergency crews were out early yesterday morning responding to 2 injury traffic accidents. The first incident involved a pickup truck that crashed into an orchard off the Malaga-Alcoa Highway. Jason Reinfeld with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office says several people were injured.
A pickup with 6 occupants was driving northbound and left the roadway on a corner. It looked like 4 occupants were in the cab and 2 were in the bed of the pickup. The vehicle left the roadway, and it looks like 2 of the occupants, the ones in the back in the bed of the pickup, were ejected, and both were transported to the hospital.
Reinfeld says the 2 passengers ejected were transported to Central Washington Hospital with serious injuries, while the 4 people in the cab of the truck were slightly injured. Meanwhile, at about the same time that was happening, another accident was being responded to off Clockham Road. Reinfeld said it involved a motorcyclist who was seriously injured after his bike left the roadway. The rider was airlifted out by helicopter to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. Well, plans to reintroduce grizzly bears to the North Cascades wilderness are apparently on hold following Wednesday's action by a U.S. House committee. The House Appropriations Committee adopted Representative Dan Newhouse's amendment to deny funding for the U.S. Department of Interior proposal. Newhouse criticized the plans as flawed.
Bringing grizzlies to the North Cascades certainly would have grave impacts on my constituents. The introduction, or I should say transplantation, of these apex predators will negatively impact ranchers, recreationists, certainly rural economies in central and eastern Washington. You would think an action as impactful as this, as introducing grizzlies into an ecosystem that's cohabited by people and livestock, could be made with only sound science in support of the local communities, you would think. Unfortunately, this proposal has not had either.
Newhouse's legislation is supported by Chelan, Okanagan, and Skagit County commissioners who share Newhouse's concerns about those plans. Supporters of the bear reintroduction plans, such as the group Conservation Northwest, dismiss the concerns as unwarranted and not based on sound science. The annual Pay It Forward event returns this Saturday to the campus of Calvary Crossroads Church on Maple Street in Wenatchee. On a recent visit to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, event organizer Dale Fields talked about who it benefits and what to expect.
There's a lot of people that are just not making it, and for one reason or another. And so what Pay It Forward is about is helping those people. So if you're a single mom or a single dad or a veteran, or you're just having trouble making ends meet, Pay It Forward is there to come alongside you and have you come to the event and provide resources. Now, last year we saw over 600 people, and
so there is a need.
There is a need,
yeah.
and this year we're expecting to see more. And last year we were able to help people with food and help people with haircuts and photography. And this year we're doing the same thing. We're going to help. There's going to be free food there. There's going to be lunches there. There's going to be haircuts and beauticians there to be able to, if you need a haircut, sometimes it's hard going from payday to payday to put money aside to even get a haircut. And so there's going to be beauticians there from all around Wenatchee giving haircuts, and there's going to be a photographer there if you would like to get a family picture. You know, sometimes it's hard to put money aside to even get family pictures done.
Also on site will be agencies and local resources to provide information on employment, housing, food, and general assistance. Pay It Forward begins at 11 on Saturday morning, and there is no charge to attend. In an announcement on Tuesday, Wenatchee High School senior Christopher Danko was awarded a National Merit Scholarship. Danko is one of just 3,500 winners nationwide to be awarded a National Merit Scholarships financed by U.S. colleges and universities. Officials of each sponsor college selected their scholarship winners from among the finalists in the 2018 National Merit Scholarship Program who plan to attend their institution. These awards provide between $500 and $2,000 annually for up to 4 years of undergraduate study at the institution financing that scholarship. Danko's scholarship is a National Merit University of Oklahoma scholarship. Chris Danko says economics is a possible career field. Well, it's time now for NCW Life's Megan McPherson to fill us in on some of the events going on this weekend.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. The Sage and Son Family Festival is Friday, June 8th to Saturday, June 9th in Ephrata. This event gives the people of Grant County and beyond a fun family festival full of activities that connect the community and stays with a majority of Northwest entertainment and vendors. The 6th annual Soul to Soul Kickoff to Summer 5K Run Walk is Saturday from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. at Pybus Market. All proceeds will benefit the Scholarship Fund for the King's Garden, a ministry of Lighthouse Christian Ministries. The 5K will begin at 8:30 a.m. with the Kids 1K and 5K immediately following. Pick up your packet from 5 to 7 p.m. on Friday, June 8th inside Pybus Market. Registration is $20. Children 10 and under are free. Go online to register. The 8th annual Bike and Juice Festival is on Saturday at the Leavenworth Ski Hill. Come for a morning of bike racing, obstacle courses for all ages, juice, cookies, lunch, raffles, face painting, bike decorating, and more. There are bike events for all kids up to age 12, including push bikes, no pedals, training wheels, and all levels of mountain bike courses. Proceeds go to Beaver Valley School. The Entiat Chamber of Commerce is putting on a car show on Saturday starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 4 p.m. The show will be held in the parking lot of the Entiat Pub and Brew in the space to the south of the parking lot. Bring your car, motorcycle, or whatever and see if you can collect a trophy. And finally, Adrienne's Dance Academy presents Let's Go Crazy on Saturday at the Numerica Performing Arts Center. The show starts at 4:30 p.m. Get your tickets at numericapac.org. For more information on this weekend's events, visit ncwlife.com.
And that's a look at the news on this Friday morning. I'm Grant Olson in for Steve Hare. I hope you join me later on at 5 o'clock for the NCW Life Evening News. And until then, have a great day.
Thank you very much, Grant. We appreciate it. As you might imagine, the news of yesterday morning's accidents involving the students at Eastmont High School spread rather quickly throughout the district. Yesterday afternoon, we reached out to Superintendent Dr. Garn Christensen for a response to yesterday morning's events.
These kind of events are always tragic. It's sad, just horrible when these kind of things happen. And I think as parents and community, we've worked a long time to try to do other types of activities and events, senior all-nighters, that tend to keep kids off roads and not at campouts, but in homes and schools this last week. But even with all the best efforts, these things still seem to occur. So our thoughts and our prayers are out to the families of those that were involved and injured, and we're just doing the best we can right now.
Christensen told us that preparations for tonight's graduation ceremonies are going ahead as scheduled, with staff stepping up in their support roles for students.
You know, we kept activities as scheduled. Mr. Noel, the principal, and our entire counseling staff, just because that's the group that organizes and prepares our graduation. They were all there with the seniors this morning, and I know they took a moment of silence, and they have done a lot of review and debriefing with students at that event about what had occurred. We also had a team at the high school, because not only does this affect their classmates, but you know, we have a closely connected high school, and many of our students work with classmates who are in younger grades, and sometimes they mentor, and then also just the effect on staff that worked with these young people. So it's always hard when you have an event like this. It affects many, many individuals in a community.
Christensen says despite Thursday's accidents, they are going to do their best to celebrate the class of 2018.
Yeah, I think if you imagine one of the worst days you could ever experience, I think that's what's happening today. You know, Mr. Noel is responsible for our graduation ceremonies, and he works real hard to have the most meaningful and thoughtful and respectful ceremonies possible. We'll start at 6 p.m., and typically our ceremonies conclude in right around an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it is a celebration of years of hard work, both on behalf of students and teachers and parents and all the family members that help get a student to walk across that stage. It's an important opportunity. It's an important rite of passage for our young people, and we're going to still try to make the day one of the very best possible for them.
And once again, we will have both commencement exercises live right here on this very television station. The Eastmont High School commencement exercises gets underway at 6 o'clock, at the Town Toyota Center. The Wenatchee High School commencement exercises get underway at 8 o'clock at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl, and we will have both of those ceremonies live right here on this very television station. It'll also be available to watch it on our website at ncwlife.com, and also we will be streaming it on our Facebook page if that's the way you prefer to consume your television. It is 20 minutes after the hour, 60 degrees, high clouds, increasing clouds, and some light rain later on tonight, and a high today of 79. Going to take a 1-minute break, and then we have sports. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities, providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
And we're back at 21 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Sports. The Wenatchee Apple Sox completed their first homestand of the season on a winning note, an 8-3 victory last night over the Highline Bears at Paul Thomas Senior Field. Wenatchee taking advantage of 5 walks by Highline starting pitcher Connor Benson, and they chased him after just 1 inning. The Sox scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third. I like that symmetry. Highlighted by a 2-run double by center fielder Taylor Poffenroth.
Second baseman Robinson was pretty far back. Swinging at the first pitch and going the other way, and this ball's going to get down. Bounces off of the wall, and the ball hit by Poffenroth. That's going to score 1 run. Coming around is the second runner, McCafferty. Here's the throw. It's not close. 2 runs come in on the RBI double by Taylor Poffenroth. Magro and McCafferty, and the runs are coming in droves for the Apple Sox. 2-1 is hit hard to left field. Going back and over the fence for a home run. It's the first home run of the season at home for the Apple Sox, and it's Swenson's first long ball of the year. He gives it a ride to left, and the Apple Sox get another one. It's 8-1. Here's another 2-2 from the right-hander from VCU. Hit up the middle on a couple bounces. McCafferty gloves onto first for the 6-3 putout, and the Apple Sox take the 8-3 victory tonight over the visiting Highline Bears.
Joel Norman there, the voice of the Apple Sox with the play-by-play, the video courtesy of the Sky-Fi Network. On the mound for Wenatchee, Tyson Umani earned the victory. He went 7 innings. He allowed just 1 run on 5 hits and 3 strikeouts. So Wenatchee improves their overall record to 4-2 with the victory. Now it's on the road. They're off to the Rose City. A 7-game road trip through Oregon begins tonight in Portland. The first of 3 with the expansion, Portland Pickles. West Coast scoreboard from last night, the Les Schwab scoreboard, looks like this. Yakima Valley down Victoria 5-2. Connor Mack's walk-off RBI base hit in the 11th inning gave Bellingham a 2-1 win over Corvallis. So the Bells and the Lefties share the top spot in the West Coast League's North Division. Wenatchee is a half game back. Victoria and Yakima Valley a game back. Kelowna a game and a half back. According to a release from the West Coast League, 72 alums, 72 either former or current players from the WCL selected in this week's Major League Baseball draft. Former Corvallis Knights infielder Nick Madrigal of Oregon State, the 4th overall pick in the first round, the highest WCL alum ever taken in the June draft anyway. Wenatchee alum Hugh Smith taken in the 5th round by the Detroit Tigers. Also former Apple Sox Drew Rasmussen selected in the 6th round by the Milwaukee Brewers. If you go to westcoastbaseballleague.com, you'll find the complete list of all the draftees who either are in the league or once played in the league. 72, that's a lot of players. Well, it got pretty interesting in the 9th inning last night, but the Mariners held on. They beat Tampa Bay. The final was 4-3 in beautiful St. Petersburg. Seattle starting pitcher Mike Leake, lights out for 8 innings. He was good, but he gave up a leadoff double in the 9th. In comes Alex Colome, who came on to relief. He gave up a 3-run double. And then finally, he coaxed the win, the final out, and we walked away with it. Leake improves to 6-3 with the win. He went 8 innings, allowed 2 runs on 8 hits, 3 strikeouts. Manager Scott Service says he couldn't be happier with Mike Leake's performance.
Mike was awesome tonight. Continues to mix all of his pitches, and had a really good changeup tonight. He could bottom to it, sank the ball, played. He's such a good athlete out there. You saw him, turn to double play and field his position so well. So a really complete ball game. Trying to give him every chance to complete it. I just thought we were at the game, and it was important that Colome hadn't been out there in 4 or 5 days. So we wanted to get him an inning. We wanted to, I guess, add on to our 1-run wins. It wasn't the way we'd planned it tonight, but we'll take it. The defense was outstanding. D made a couple of really nice plays. Freitas did a really good job behind the plate, blocking some balls, keeping double play in order, and then the Seager the play to end the game. It was just awesome. So, rough travel last night. Didn't get much sleep, but got enough offense early in the game, and pitching and defense was the story again.
Denard Span and Mitch Haniger each had solo home runs that helped give Seattle an early lead. David Freitas got the start behind the plate. Mike Zunino needs a little bit of rest. It's hard to be a catcher, and by golly, David came through with a hit in that big 3-run 3rd inning, and Scott Service says he continues to be a nice surprise.
It's funny, David Freitas isn't an offensive, it's not his game. His game's behind the plate, but it seems like every game he plays in, it's a walk in the middle of a rally, it's a sac fly, it's getting the guy over. Today, big hit to kind of spark. A lot of those runs came with 2 out, too, after the D. Gordon sac fly and stuff. So, a lot of good at-bats in that inning, and a couple home runs certainly helped out. Haniger continues to roll, and Denard Span, back-to-back games with home runs, great to see.
Seattle and Tampa Bay will play again today, 4:10. First pitch, Marco Gonzalez will pitch for the Mariners. He'll go against Wilmer Font. That's a cool name. Well, the Mariners didn't gain any ground in the American League West. As we check the Les Schwab scoreboard once again, Houston took down Texas 5-2. Oakland got the better of Kansas City. LA had the night off, so Seattle's lead in the West. Still a game over the Astros. Angels are 4.5 games back. The A's are 7.5 games out of first place. Lots going on this weekend on our weekend sports calendar. Wenatchee Youth Baseball hosts a big tournament, the 9U and 10U, all over North Central Washington, various sites going on today through Sunday. The Grip It and Rip It men's softball tournament happens this weekend at Walla Walla Point Park. The women will be busy at Kirby Billingsley Hydro Park with the Riverball tournament. That's tomorrow and Sunday. The Wenatchee Rams are off to a great start in the Western Washington Football Alliance. They're 3-0 on the year. They have their home opener tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at Lee-Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. They'll take on the Northwest Hurricanes. And the same venue, by the way, Lee-Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl, will be the host Sunday as the NCW Alliance FC host Black Hills FC at 2 o'clock in women's soccer. And that's sports at 28 minutes after the hour. It's time for today's obscure holiday. Always June 8th is Best Friend Day. Everybody should have a best friend. If you're lucky, you have a best friend. Sometimes you got to work at it. If you're real lucky, you got a bunch of best friends. Best friends are cool people. Best friends are very, very cool people. Some folks, you can say you can only have like one best friend. That's nonsense. You can have a couple at the same time or several over time. Friends come and go for a variety of reasons. Even some best friends forever don't necessarily say best friends forever. But if you have a best friend or a friend that you miss and you haven't been in contact with for a long time, make a point today to get a hold of one of your best friends or two. Happy Best Friends Day, just in the nick of time. All right, today in history. 2 items, both sports related. It was 52 years ago today that the National Football League and the American Football League said, we're done a fussing and a fighting and a feud, and let's get together and have a marriage, and they did. They announced the merger of the NFL and the AFL on this day, June 8th, 1966. It took effect for the 1970 football season. The AFL was a competitor to the NFL, and the salary started to go sky. That's what really happened. It was greed. the AFL started to sign all the best college players, and the NFL wasn't getting them anymore. And of course, to compete with the AFL and the salaries that they were paying their players, the NFL had to raise their salaries, and they both said, wait a minute, we don't want to pay these guys this much. If we get together, we can drive the salaries right back down again. And they did. And it began on June 8th, 1966. And one of my favorite baseball stories, June 8th, 1989, 29 years ago today. Check out that photo. The Pittsburgh Pirates sent 16 batters to the plate in the first inning. They were in Philadelphia, Veterans Stadium, to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. At the end of the first inning, Pittsburgh was ahead 10-0, and the radio announcer for the Pittsburgh Pirates, the gentleman by the name of Jim Rooker, he said on the air that if the Pirates happen to just blow this game and lose it, he'll walk from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. The Pirates blew it. The final score, Philadelphia 15, Pittsburgh 11. Well, Rooker made good on his on-the-air promise. After the season, he conducted a charity walk. He walked over 13 days and 337 miles on Highway 30 between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, and he raised over $100,000 for a local children's hospital. Kind of a cool story. Be careful what you say on the air. And finally, birthdays on this June 8th. Of course, we lost this lovely lady, classy lady, back on April 17th, Barbara Bush, American wife of George H.W. Bush, the 41st First Lady of the United States, lived 92 very long, productive, and wonderful years. Barbara Bush was born on June 8th, 1925, and yes, we miss her. Of course, she passed away April 17th. And the name Eddie Goodell might not ring a bell with you. If you're a baseball fan, you remember him. Back on August 19th, 1951, for the St. Louis Browns, Eddie Goodell, 3 feet 7 inches tall, 65 pounds, batted for the St. Louis Browns. Became the shortest player, as you might imagine, in the history of Major League Baseball. 1 plate appearance. He was walked on 4 straight pitches, and he was replaced by a pinch runner at first base. It was a big publicity stunt for the St. Louis Browns. The people who run Major League Baseball were not amused. Eddie Goodell never, of course, played in a Major League Baseball game again, but he became a bit of a celebrity. He died at the age of 36 in 1961 under mysterious circumstances. But one of the great footnotes in baseball history, Eddie Goodell, born in this state in 1925. 31 minutes after the hour. Coming up next on Everyone is Entitled to Mike Magnotti's Opinion. Don't change the channel because it's my all-time favorite Mike Magnotti opinion piece. You're going to love that. And then in the second half of the program, News Director Steve Hare and his conversation with Robert McSeveny, who is running for election in his own right for Chelan County Superior Court. All that still coming up in this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. The Sage and Son Family Festival is June 8th to June 9th in Ephrata. This event is full of activities that connect the community and includes a majority of Northwest entertainment and vendors. The Wenatchee Valley Farmers Market is every Saturday at Pybus Market from 8 to 1 until October 27th. Eat healthy, eat local, and come support your local growers and producers. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
Vominos junk haulers, big or small, they haul it all. Vominos junk haulers are experienced at hauling junk from your household items to yard and construction debris. That old hot tub and eyesore, Vominos, will make it Vominos. Recycling is a priority to Vominos junk haulers. They'll haul away your old appliances and electronics. For the do-it-yourselfers, Vominos Junk Haulers also rents trucks and trailers. Call Vominos Junk Haulers and Moving Service today to schedule your free estimate.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Are you raising a grandchild or another relative's child? If so, kinship programs may be available for your family. Kinship care is the full-time care of children by relatives. Kinship care maintains family, cultural, and community ties. It's the oldest form of family preservation and an important safety net for children whose parents are either unable or unwilling to care for them. To learn more about kinship care or to find a support group near you, please contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington.
The NCW Live Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Live Channel is your local TV station.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Don't wait till your equipment breaks. This Lennox dealer can help.
Keep your home comfort system running smoothly with regular checkups from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Get up to $1,700 in rebates or special financing.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, pizza, it's a great food. Everybody, kids, old people, even liberals love pizza. I mean, the succulent dough, rich, spicy spaghetti gravy covered with mozzarella cheese. What could be better? But I got news for you. You don't put fruit on pizza. If you put pineapple on your pizza, call it a fruit cup a la mode. Call it pineapple pie. Call it any doggone friggin' thing you want, but don't call it pizza. I mean, you don't put tomato soup and American cheese on a piece of white bread and call it a taco, do you? So don't be an idiot. If it has pineapple on it, it ain't pizza. Okay, that's settled. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that is not my opinion. That is a fact.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shaman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Let us make your dream of home ownership a reality. We're here to guide you through the loan process every step of the way. Check out our convenient online application. Bay Equity Home Loans in Wenatchee, your home for loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
Hi everyone, Brent. Hey, don't mind, we're just making a commercial here, Randall. You're okay. Hi everyone, Brent here. Jeez. You're gonna love this. When you see this, come down and see us behind Nissan. I can do it. I can do it. The all-new 2018 Nissan. That's done, I'm done. We can't do it. Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee. Better performance, better.
It's the election season, getting ready for the fall elections, and joining me in studio, one of the candidates who's running in this upcoming vote. That's Robert McSeveny, who is our Chelan County Superior Court judge, recently appointed by Governor Jay Inslee, and now he's looking to be retained as our Chelan County Superior Court judge. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Your Honor, let's talk about your experience, and first of all, what brought you to Wenatchee, and a little bit about your background in the legal profession.
Sure. Well, I have a very diverse background. I was a Bellevue police officer for almost 10 years, and then I went to law school. Once I completed law school, the city recruited me back to be one of the prosecutors in the city attorney's office, and then I moved to be representing the city of Bellevue in litigation in state and federal courts. And then I went out and started my own law practice. But more and more I was asked to fill in for the judges as a pro tem judge in the King County District Court. So I probably went to 6 or 8 of those courts on a fairly routine basis. And then I was hired by the city of Kent and also by Bothell to start 2 courts. So I started those 2 courts from the ground up, set the policies and procedures, and you know, was a judge in Kent for about 17 years. I was then hired by the Department of Justice to be a U.S. immigration judge appointed by the U.S. Attorney General. And I spent a little over 5 years in that capacity down in San Diego. And I was doing what I consider hardball cases, detained criminal aliens, and I was also the mental health judge for the U.S. immigration courts, the only judge in the country hearing mentally ill cases from the Ninth Circuit, which involves 8 states. So if somebody in Tacoma, that's a detained facility, was mentally ill, they packed them up, sent them to me. So those protocols that were developed there are now being used nationwide, so I'm very proud of the work I did there.
So you have experience both on both sides of the bar, as an attorney, as a judge, and as a law enforcement officer. That gives you pretty much a broad perspective, I guess, on legal matters.
Yes, and that helps being a judge, understanding from the initial law enforcement stage, perhaps the arrest or the investigation, all the way through the prosecution and the adjudication of the case in the courts.
Where did you go to school?
I went to high school, Tye High School down by the airport, and then while I was a police officer, I went full-time to Seattle University. And then I quit and went to law school full-time. At that time it was University of Puget Sound, now it's Seattle University.
I think I got to ask you, because with your background both as a police officer, attorney, and a judge, you know, we're living in different times, and there seems to be a war, or at least law enforcement increasingly finds itself in the crosshairs. I think public opinion has changed a little bit, I think. How do you feel about that at this point in time, and really the kind of negative connotation that comes with being a policeman right now?
Well, as they say, it's an endless, thankless job. And that was a saying that was used when I was an officer, and I think it still applies today. On the other hand, there are extremely dedicated and qualified officers in my career, and also, I believe, currently. The officers, I think, these days are highly trained, probably better training than we had, because the community's changed, the nature of the offenses changed, with all the drug law violations, and the cameras and the recording equipment. There has to be a cognizance of the fact that people will armchair what the police officer does in every case, for the most part. But I think it's still a very professional, it's an honorable profession. I commend the officers out there for what they do. In any given moment, they may be called to a horrific scene or be involved in an arrest or a firefight, protecting themselves and others. So it's still a good job.
So what are your thoughts about the media's coverage of law enforcement and, well, most notably, police interactions?
I think it depends on the media. Some media outlets, I think, are perhaps more fair, more objective, and I think that would be the goal of good journalism and things like that. Not every police officer is well-trained and reacts properly to whatever situation it may be. I think if the media is fair, covering both sides of it, then I think that's the best you can expect.
You know, there are some questions that I have. I've covered trials, many court proceedings in my career as a broadcast journalist. But I often had questions about why you do what you do as a judge and how you do it. So I've drafted a couple of questions here that kind of fit that mold in terms of the question. What criteria would you use for deciding whether to impose or even affirm sentences outside of a standard range?
Well, Washington has a determinative sentence structure. So, for example, there might be a particular crime that gives the judge discretion to impose 60 days in jail up to 9 months in jail. And typically, most of the time, sentences are imposed there. But there might be a criteria that might warrant an exceptional high or an exceptional low. For example, let's just say with all the media attention and when you're dealing with young people, there's this whole discussion about the brain isn't fully developed until a person is perhaps 23 to 25 years of age.
Or in my case, 67.
67, yeah, and you'll be there at 70. But, and so there's this body of law that allows the court to look at youth as a component in considering an exceptional sentence down. There's certainly other criteria that needs to be considered. The state law, the Sentencing Reform Act, does list various things that the court can consider. The nature of the offense, any mitigating factors, any corrective action and things that may have been taken by the defendant. There's a whole host of things, but exceptional sentence above can be, as you could expect, aggravating factors, the nature of the crime. It's all set out typically in statute. Okay. The court's not bound to that, but there can be other factors. But those generally are the factors the judge would consider.
And it's based on each individual case, I suppose.
Correct.
Yeah. Same hold true then for when you're setting bail amounts and that type of thing?
For the most part, when I handle preliminary hearings, I'm obligated to first find probable cause, whether it exists or not, and then at some point there may be a request by the government for bail. In some cases, the state is asking simply the person be released on their promise to appear. In other cases, given their criminal history, I typically look at have they appeared at their court dates? There's other factors. Will they in any way interfere with the administration of justice? Will they commit new crimes? Those are all components. And so we usually have a criminal history. We have some idea of what their record is, if they fail to appear, if there's warrant history. And we'll hear information from the state, and then if the defendant has a lawyer, hear mitigating factors. For example, they've lived here all their life. They've not failed to appear for court. So the likelihood is that they're going to appear for their court dates. Those are the kinds of things, as opposed to somebody that's transient, has no home. We can't even mail them something that shows in. So that might be a case where bail should be set to ensure their appearance.
Right, understand. It's all set to make sure that they return.
Return, yeah.
Absolutely. Here's an interesting question. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night thinking about a case that you presided over and wondered if you could have done it differently? Did you ever have a case like that?
Well, I've had cases like that. It's pretty rare because I usually try to prepare my cases in advance, have a feel for maybe the way I'm going. I still want to hear from the lawyers, and I look at their briefs and so forth, and generally have an idea what I want to do. At this level court, the complexity is nowhere near what it was in the U.S. immigration courts, where you're dealing with everything from asylum to torture cases to national security cases. It's just the federal law, the overlay is very complex. But I've had cases where I've perhaps second-guessed myself, or where I've caught it in the middle of the night and the next day been able to address some concerns that I woke up thinking about.
Interesting, very interesting. Let's talk about your mentors in life, or who do you see as your judicial role models?
Well, my mentors, my parents were great mentors. My father was with London Police, and then worked for Scotland Police, and then immigrated here after he met an American who convinced him to come over and check things out. When I started, I was in Bellevue District Court. There were two what I felt were outstanding judges. One was Judge Joel Rindahl. And Judge Rindahl was the type of judge that expected you to comply with the rules and the processes. And if he asked you, after you've made an argument, do you have authority for that? Or what rule are you referring to? You better have an answer. So after a steady dose of that, I found that experience alone was great for me as a mentor. The other judge was a guy named Brian Gain. And Brian was really good with people. If people got upset in the courtroom at each other and those types of things, he had a way of calming it and kind of working through it. So those two judges were my mentors for about 5 years, and I found they were very influential. And I've been involved with a statewide association. I taught at the Judicial College. I've been involved in various boards and committees, and throughout that period of time I've come to appreciate judges. For example, Gary Alexander, he was a former Chief Justice, and he has been in contact with me, and I've always appreciated his wisdom and guidance.
Very good. What does Judge Robert McSeveny and his wife Lori like to do when you're not in the courtroom?
Well, we enjoy the neighborhood, so to speak, exploring Wenatchee and, going up to Chelan or Leavenworth and those types of things. We have guests, we like to bring them out, show them the area. We both ride motorcycles. I was, for about 4 years, I was on motorcycles in Bellevue. So we just recently were down, Lori rode up from California by herself.
Wow.
And I met her down in Oregon, and we rode, we just had a pleasant ride back. So we enjoy doing that. We got some pets, we enjoy our pets, and my son is a lawyer here, so we enjoy doing things with him.
Judge Robert McSeveny is looking to be retained in the upcoming election, so he's looking for your vote. And I'm going to give you the last word. Judge McSeveny, what is it about yourself that you would like our viewers to know about you? Well, I'd like the community to know that I am a very committed judge. I am probably the only candidate with any significant judicial experience. I've been a judge for 23 years at the federal level. I've received numerous awards, and I'm very committed here. When the governor appointed me, he noted my broad experience, and I'm very proud of what I'm able to accomplish. I would encourage people to look at my website, because I've set out pretty much my career there. Cases that I've ruled on, cases that have gone through the appellate courts, state and federal courts, so you have some idea of how I am as a judge. Because that's important. If you're going to vote for a judge, you need to have some history, some background that this person is even qualified. And so I would encourage you to look at my website. I've been endorsed by about 118 judges statewide that know me. I've taught those kinds of things. And my background, I think, can be very helpful when you make those kinds of decisions. Very good. Well, we wish you the best of luck going forward. And again, you have a website, so you can learn more about Judge Robert McSeveny there. And of course, we will be posting this interview to our website at ncwlife.com. For now, that will be it. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Steve, for your time.
You bet, Judge.
Join the NCW Life channel for live coverage of Eastmont and Wenatchee High School commencement ceremonies Friday, June 8th.
Coverage brought to you by the Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and outdoor seating in Leavenworth. Young Bucks Landscaping and Tree Service, save a buck. And by Automoca, with 6 locations in the valley to serve you.
Live Friday, June 8th, Eastmont High's graduation at 6, followed by Wenatchee High's graduation at 8, exclusively on the NCW Life channel.
Family means something in these parts. Family owned and operated means even more. At Rose Tractor, you're buying more than a product. You're buying years of knowledge through multiple generations. It means you can count on Rose for quality products, quality repairs, and folks who stand behind the products they sell. From your job site to your home to rentals and repairs to new outdoor power equipment, Rose Tractor is growing with you throughout the years. Rose Tractor, quality brands you can trust year after year.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X4 offers 4 times the proven off-road capability, 4 times the comfort, and 4 times the confidence to deliver 4 times the excitement on your next outdoor adventure.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
Boating certainly has improved over the years. Check out the new Centurion boats with HD touch vision system and built-in coolers. Centurion is loaded with extras to make boating more fun and more comfortable. Get the best out of summer. Get your boat from Bobfile Boats and Motors. Online at bobfile.com and on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee.
Bobfile Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bobfile's gonna make you smile.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. The Sage and Son Family Festival is June 8th to June 9th in Ephrata. This event is full of activities that connect the community and includes a majority of Northwest entertainment and vendors. The Wenatchee Valley Farmers Market is every Saturday at Pybus Market from 8 to 1 until October 27th. Eat healthy, eat local, and come support your local growers and producers. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
And welcome back to this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, flying solo today on this Friday, the 8th day of June, and a big one for the Eastmont and Wenatchee High School classes of 2018. Once again, a reminder, we'll be broadcasting the Eastmont High School's 60th commencement exercises. It gets underway at 6 o'clock tonight at the Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee. It'll run till about 7:40 or so, give or take a couple. They're commencement exercises. They don't start and end at a set time. They start at a set time, but they don't necessarily end at a set time. But we're pretty sure it's going to end before 8 because they usually do. And then at 8 o'clock, we'll switch over to Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl for the 114th commencement exercises for the Wenatchee High School class of 2018. And that means, what's the weather going to be like tonight for the ceremonies? Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed. The forecast is calling for increasing clouds throughout the day today with a high of about 79 degrees. No real wind today, but a big change arrives tonight and Saturday. It's going to be a lot cooler. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be breezy. It's going to start tonight. The question is, when does it start tonight? And from the National Weather Service, there's an hour-by-hour breakdown. The top graph that you see there is your temperature gauge. So when the ceremonies get underway at about 8 o'clock tonight, again outdoors, it'll be just about 70 degrees. By the time they wrap it up about 10 o'clock, it'll be cooler. So you might want to consider packing a jacket or certainly a sweatshirt. You may need that. Are you going to need an umbrella? We hope not. That bottom graph is your rain chances. And you can see it says just about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, we start thinking about maybe a chance of rain. Certainly in the overnight hours, as you can see there, it is going to rain pretty good at times. So it looks like we may dodge a bullet. As long as it doesn't rain between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock tonight, we're going to be pretty happy. That middle graph is the wind. As you can see, as this system, this deep upper level low over the Gulf of Alaska that's moving in, is going to bring some rain and some wind with us as well. So it could be a little inclement later on. As we go deeper and deeper into the ceremonies tonight, the chance of rain and the chance of wind certainly increases, but we're keeping our fingers crossed and Mother Nature is going to keep things dry for ceremonies tonight. So there's your forecast. Again, increasing clouds, thickening up as the day goes on. By the time ceremonies begin tonight for Wenatchee High School, it will be cloudy and a high today of about 79. Tonight we are going to get rain, most of it in the overnight hours, as you saw in that graphic. Also wind at times, northwest wind about 7 to 14 miles an hour. Overnight low tonight of about 54. That's chilly. Speaking of chilly, look at Saturday. It'll begin to exit on Saturday, but it's going to bring in some cold air with this. This weather is going to bring in some cold air. So 67, all we're going to get to on Saturday, and we're going to have some wind on Saturday, most of it in the morning hours. Sunday, not bad, mostly sunny and a high of 66, still some cold air. The overnight lows in the 40s are downright chilly, but most of next week looks pretty good. Again, keep your fingers crossed. Right now, it looks pretty good, better than 50-50, that we will be dry between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock tonight for commencement exercises. There's your week. Thank you very much, Kat. That's your weekend sporting event schedule. There's a lot going on for you softball players, and they're going to be playing softball all day this weekend. They start in the early morning hours. They're going to be chilly out there. Good thing that they're exercising. That's a lot of the things that are going on this weekend. Some housekeeping I want to take care of. Happy birthday to Mike Mad Dog Mignotti. He loves pepperoni on his pizza, by the way, but he really loves pineapple. Happy birthday, Mike McNaughty. He's 60-something today. And we have some pretty good shows for you lined up next week. On Monday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we're going to show highlights of some of the speeches during the commencement exercises, both from Eastmont and Wenatchee. I'm looking forward to that. And on Tuesday, Chuck Egner is going to be back because the Wenatchee River Bluegrass Festival is next weekend. It's a huge 4-day party out there in Kashmir. Everybody have a great weekend. Congratulations to the class of 2018. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.